Hey ladies and gents, this is Linda, Chic777, and today I'm coming at you with a design team project for Discount Paper Crafts. Now I found this cute little mirror at a garage sale. It's about 19 inches in length and I believe about 7 inches in height. And the right side of it, about 3/4 of it is a mirror, and the left side was an area where it had like a little picture of a bird or something. And of course, so I saw it, I think it's like 50 cents, and I'm like, I can alter that, I can do something with it. So I did. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, don't know if I'm giving it away, what's going on, but you know, I made it. First thing though I'm going to do is show you what I had received in my design team package this month, because some of the stuff, you know, as you're altering, obviously, as we all know, gets a little bit covered up. So I'm going to move my sign out of the way, show you what Kathy sent me. Kathy knows me very well, sent me a, you know, kit of shabby chicness this time. So she sent me along the Melissa Francis, the Classic Elegant line. Okay, so this is what she sent. Beautiful papers. Double-sided 6x6 pad. Like this side's a little bit of a floral, and then this side is like the cute little pictures. And I'm going to go off camera so I'm not flipping for you. And I think there's about 4 sheets of each one, 5 sheets. This side is a pretty script, and then the other side is kind of like a collage, which is kind of where I took my inspiration when I did my left side of my project. I did it in sort of a collage type theme. And then the next one here is like a damask, in case you guys haven't seen this. And then this is just a cute, almost like a ledger type, almost like a, not a ledger, but you know, like a receipt type thing or something like that. And then we've got like a little floral, another little floral, in totally shabby chic colors. Blues and pinks, and then of course some blacks, because I love that. Here we've got like a text. Oh, and the other side of that was kind of like a pink print there. And then this is the one of the sheets I used. It's actually a ledger. Okay, and then the back side of that is like a blue kind of floral. So the other thing she sent me was this cute Melissa Francis. It's like a baby pink trim, and I use this one mostly throughout my project. So I just love the daintiness of that. She also sent me along, which goes perfectly with the line, of course, she sent me along the tags that go with the collection. I believe I used this one, and then I used one that was like a postcard type. And I believe, yeah, you get like 2 sizes pretty much of each one. Okay, so she sent me those. And then she sent me these wonderful 7 Gypsies metal, sorry for the glare, photo corners. You get 4 sizes of this and like 8 sizes of the smaller one. And then she sent me along these cute little Melissa Francis buttons. Most of them kind of fell out. And it also comes with the twine, which is really nice. And it's super teeny tiny cute twine. But this goes with the collection. And then she sent me some petaloo flowers. I have just a few left. And they're different ones, you know, like this is a little satin, there's a little sheer one, and these cute little rolled up ones. Really cute. And they're tiny. It's like a collection of tiny little flowers. So they're perfect for tucking in amongst other flowers. Okay, so that is the design team kit that she sent me. So I'm going to bring my project in. Now it's going to look far away at first because, well, like I said, it's kind of big. So, but no worries. We'll get in closer. So here it comes. Okay, just kind of go across and give you a view. Okay, let me bring it down here and let's see. Yeah, I thought I was. So anyway, so we'll go this way to the left, and then we'll just kind of pan over to the right. And yes, as you see on the mirror, I did do some stenciling. I used the artist stencil, the 12 by 12, so that I could get the larger words. And then I used some new stencil that Crafters Workshop brought out, and it was this stencil. It's just dots. It's different patterns of dots. But what I like about it is they're actually in strips, so I was able to just, you know, cut off one of the strips And so it makes it more, you know, movable and more easy to access and kind of get in tight spaces and stuff, which is what I needed. Because I didn't pull the mirror out when I did it. I, of course, had to pull this side out to be able to work with it, but I didn't pull the mirror out. So, you know, I needed to be able to fit into tight little corners. So it was nice to be able to cut that up. Now, also on my paper collection over here, I used a sheet or two from the Fab Scraps, this Heritage collection. Okay, and this is just from my stash, so some beautiful papers from that collection. And then I used some papers from, or just one, which is this main one right here with the bird on it, from Bo Bunny, the Avenues, that new collection, also from my stash. Okay, so I'm going to bring my camera down just a little bit so we can kind of tuck in nice and close here. I'll adjust everything. Adjust this up a little bit. And let's bring her on in. So we'll do another pan up close again. Okay. I'm going to kind of get a nice view of my ceiling up there. I'm going to keep it this way because of the mirror, so you don't get a bunch of glare. And my curtain. Hee, there's my curtain. And then I'll tuck it up this way so you can see this side. Okay, so there it is. I know, it's super cute. Okay, so I'm going to come back over to this side. Now, as you can see, since I'm heading over here, I use my acrylic paint mixed with sand once again to do all my texture, as well as I added that to the tops of all my flowers and you know, all my little embellishments. I even added it, you could see it onto the mirror on top of the stenciling. Now the stenciling, like I said, I used those stencils with modeling paste. And then I just took, as you can see, a little hint of pink. Lindy Stamp Gang, it was just a really light pink shimmer. And I took a paintbrush, dipped it in, and kind of shimmered, or, you know, painted over the top. And as you can see, I chose the words yesterday, today, and tomorrow. There we go, just kind of tip it a little bit. And you can see I used just a foam paintbrush when I put my texture on top of stuff to get kind of that real powdery soft image. Okay, all right, so there's the middle mirror part. Let's move it on over to here. So let's start at the tip top. This is those metal photo corners that Kathy sent me from 7 Gypsies. Okay, down the bottom I've got some like window shutters here. And you know, I like to try and give you stories so you guys know how my mind operates. What I was wanting to do is kind of create a theme of this side of kind of looking out your window, out into your garden, and maybe you glance at, you know, the garden gate, and there's your little guardian angel sitting on top of the gate. Okay, so that was kind of the theme I wanted to go by when I was creating this. Now these window shutters, let me see. There, if I cover the light a little bit, you can see the texture on that. What I did, these are just chipboard, and I took gesso, and I did about probably 3 or 4 coats with a, not a paintbrush, sponge brush, one of those sponge paint brushes, and just kind of sponged it, you know, kind of pounced it on like this, and then I heat set it in between each one, and it gives you a really fine texture. Now you will notice some bigger texture through the middle. That's just kind of where I took that acrylic paint mixed with sand, added it to there, and then you can see a little bit of hints of pink and stuff in there. That's the Lindy Stamp Gang. Okay, so we're coming to here. Here's the papers. Like I said, I had done that kind of collage collection. This is a tag over here and a tag here from the collection. And in this paper right here that you just barely see is that ledger paper. And then I took and cut another piece out of that and put it over the top here. And then this is the Bo Bunny paper, and then that other Fab Scraps paper is clear in the back. So I just kind of did a little collage going on there. Okay, so moving on over to this left side, back over, I guess. So we went through the shutters. This is from Kathy's store. This is one of the chipboard pieces from the Fairy Rhymes collection. Now, all my flowers are Wild Orchid Crafts, or I Am Roses, or just some fabric flowers from my stash, or Prima, which, you know, came from Kathy's store, okay? So here is one of the Prima street lamps. It's the Shabby Chic resin metal from Shabby Chic Metal Treasures, I think it's called, from Kathy's store. And so I've got one on this side and one on the right side. You can see a bunch of flowers coming in here, Prima flowers. This is one of those cute little flowers that came, the petaloo flowers that came in my design team kit. This is a Prima butterfly. Okay. Coming down along the side. This is from Kathy's store a long time ago. I can't remember which collection it's from, but it's just one of the little metal pieces that come with one of the collections. And from it, I hung a little Prima bird cage. So right here, you can kind of see some of the trims I used. I'm going to go over this way for a minute so you can get a little bit better look at the trims. So underneath, you can kind of see that crochet cute pink trim. The rest of the trim, this is from my stash. This one right here, it's another crochet trim. This is a real pretty, which is kind of hard to see, but it's almost like a banner trim. It's really pretty. There you can see a little bit of it. Over the top of that, I used some Prima trim that's from Kathy's store. Let me show you really quick. I used this one. I just love this trim because it's, you know, kind of that crocheted look. And then I used some of this one on the other side, and what I did is I just cut it up into the little pieces and kind of tucked it in and around the flowers. Okay, so those are the two Prima trims I used from Kathy's store. All right, and then on top of that Prima trim, I've got this cute little teeny tiny rosette trim, and I apologize, someone gifted that to me and I can't remember who it was, but I just love it. I mean, it's super teeny tiny. Okay, so let's move on back over to here. Intermixed all the flowers and stuff. Here's another one of the little flowers you get in that little petaloo kit. Here's one of the little chipboard buttons with the twine in there. Really super cute. These, I don't even think Kathy has in her store anymore. These were Melissa Francis little, like, poofy flowers. But I still have some, and I like them. They're cute sometimes, just sticking out as something adds a little texture. I have one on this side and one on the other. This large flower is from Kathy's store. It's the Prima Odette flowers. This is the almond color. She's got lots of colors in her store. I'm going to kind of go over the side a little bit. I wanted to take this over the edge just a bit so you can see a bunch of flowers and stuff going on here. A real, it is huge, a big light bulb I stuck in there, more Prima flowers, some more Wild Orchid Craft flowers. I wanted to just kind of, you know, extend it beyond the edge a little bit. This is a Prima cabriole flower from Kathy's store. I believe I used some of those in my last design team project I created, and I still had a few left. This is, I like to do a play on numbers in my projects and clocks, which I forgot to point out. Right over here is a chipboard clock that I cut up that is from Kathy's store. It's the Leaky Shed line. So basically all you can see is kind of the frame of the clock. So there's that tucked inside. Here's some of my play on numbers here. Here's another play on the numbers, just says number 7. And then I used a number 8 on the right side, which I'll show you when we get over here. Now these plastic numbers are from Tim Holtz. I think it came out, was it last year? Or maybe it was earlier this year. Anyway, I love these because they're super huge. You can see how big these things are. And you can paint over them, everything else. But I love because you get the numbers and then you also get them spelled out. But they're really fun. So I wanted to use some of those on my project. I didn't want to leave them pure black because I wanted to tone them down a little bit, make them a little bit shabby. So, you know, I used the acrylic paint over the top of them to just, like I said, tone them down a bit. And then I added, of course, a little wooden XO from my stash. Okay, so there is this left side. Give you a little gander at it again. Sorry, you're going to get the glare from the glass and the mirror, of course. All right, so let's move on over to this right side. We already discussed the stenciling. Oh, but I didn't show you at the very tip top, I've got a handle. Let me go out of frame for a second and flip this up so you don't get a lot of glare from the mirror. This is just a handle that I got at our local Habitat for Humanity resale store, and I just thought it was cute because it had like a vine on it, and I thought it kind of went with the whole, you know, kind of garden theme and everything, and then I just textured it up a little bit with sand. Acrylic paint mixed with sand, excuse me, just to kind of give it that shabby chic feel. Okay, all right, so let me turn this back over. get a hold of it. It's quite long. And let's work on this left side. So we'll give you a little bit better view over here. Okay. So let's start at the tip top there. At the very top is a Tim Holtz, sorry, you can see my ceiling fan. Number 8 up there I just thought was cute. And then another one of the Prima street lamps right up here. And then over here on the side, I just kind of tucked in some of that crochet trim from my stash. And then a bunch of, you know, flowers and things like that going on in here. Again, I carried the stuff over to the side. Let me move this around so you could see. Carried stuff over the edge, okay, just to kind of give it something. All right, so let's move on back. I know it's kind of hard to maneuver this thing. Anyway, so right in here, this is one from those Prima typo bulbs from Kathy's store, the little tiny ones. Now, this one had the word to on it, T-O, and I'm like, huh. What am I going to do with that? Wonder if that can scratch off. So I kind of started to take a little pair of scissors to scratch it off. Does scratch, but you don't want to use scissors because this is just like a really kind of soft acrylic almost. So it can leave a little scratch. So took my fingernail, sorry, still got paint on it, just finished this. And I was able to scratch off the word. And then I have a drawer full of 3,000 rub-ons. So I just rubbed on the word adore and it worked really nicely. So, you know, if you don't like the words that are on those typo bulbs, you can change them. Here is another one of the cute chipboard buttons with the twine. A bunch of flowers and stuff going on as we saw. Wild Looker Crafts. Here's another one of those little Melissa Francis little poofy flowers. This is, of course, the Prima resin Cupid with the little bird. Now, this gate here, it's wooden, and it actually came with an album I had purchased from Lindy Stamp Gang when I got some sprays, and I have since dismantled that album because, you know, I like to break up and use the pieces separately. But what I did is it was a wooden gate, and I just kind of cut it in half and used the top part of it and then glued it to the, you know, the edge of the frame here. So that worked really nicely. And then I just I shimmered it up with the clear mist and then inked the edges and then added, you know, the texture paint. And also on my left side, which I didn't mention, and I'm sure you guys saw it on my papers and stuff, I did sew my edges. I got to go back and show you. I distressed them and sewed the edges, see, and then I used the Prima Distress tool I got from Kathy's shop. And then I used Tim Holtz, I was one of the like tea dye or something, distressed the edges and then sewed it all together. Okay, so let's go back over to this side. My lamp over here keeps getting in the way. So a bunch more flowers and stuff from my stash. These are just little fabric pink roses, and I just tied a little sheer bow from my stash, and then I kind of just glued it in and around because I, you know, just thought it was kind of cute. Here's some of that Prima trim. See, I just kind of stuck it in between like the flowers and stuff. There wasn't actually another little piece right up here too. Okay, try not to forget anything. Down here in the corner, another one of those 7 Gypsies metal corners from Kathy's store. This, which you're seeing part of here, and then you see a little bit here and here. This is one of the Prima vines that Kathy carried in her store. I don't know if she still has them. I think she's, you know, since sold out because beautiful. And what I did is cut it in half, and I used half of it. So, you know, I could save the other half for later because now I'm down to just a couple and I'm hoarding them. So that's what you see sticking off here is some of that part of that Prima vine there. Okay, bunch more flowers. Here's another one of those little Petaloo fabric flowers that I got in my design team kit. Down here, you can see some of the Melissa Francis trim. And then I used some of that teeny tiny rosette trim. And I already pointed out the Prima trim. Okay, so there's that. On the gate, I wanted to have like a lock. So this is just like a little metal piece from my stash. But, you know, I just made it kind of whimsical and pointed it up like it was a latch on a gate. Just thought it was kind of cute. Added a little Prima metal clock from Kathy's store. The little Prima clock hand again from Kathy's store. And also the little Prima zipper that says Inspire again from Kathy's store. Okay. Added a little, this is a little Recollections butterfly going on down here. And then as you can see here, I know, it's super cute. When shopping, hit a craft store about an hour away from me, a craft store that is just kind of a local one. It's not one of the big chains or anything. And they had this little section where you could buy these cute little miniature pieces, you know, if you wanted to put something together. And so I bought this cute little metal lamppost and a wheelbarrow and this cute little bike. I thought that was cute. And it was red. So what I did is I textured it up with the acrylic paint mixed with sand and also with some gesso. And I just kept, I think I did gesso first, and I did kind of like the window shutters, and I heat set it in between, and then I used the acrylic paint mixed with sand on top. Okay? I just love that stinking cute little bike. I should have got a couple of them. They were about $3 a piece, but I had a whole handful of stuff, so only got one. I'll be going back. But anyway, so there is that right side. Okay? We'll kind of pan back over so you can see this side again. All right, so that about does it for this project for Discount Paper Crafts. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll bring my camera back up so we can get a nice big peek-see at the top. And down we go. I will have, of course, all the links to everything Discount Paper Crafts down below. A link to my blog where there will be closer-up pictures because this was a little hard to maneuver, you know, on film, but hopefully you were able to see it fairly well. But there will be pictures and there will be direct links to the products I used on this particular project. Okay? Thank you, everybody, for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.